it go, man. Just let it go. Let it go, man. Just let it go.
Let it go.
Just let it go, man. It's all right, man. Just let it go, man. Just let it go.
Hey everybody, how are you doing today?
It's all right, just let it go.
Yeah, kind of give you a hint of what we're going to be talking about, I guess, today. So I hope you guys are having a really good day so far. I had a surprise this morning. Woke up with snow on the ground. We got about 1.5 inches. And yeah, I was kind of surprised because they kept saying it was going to snow. And usually, it's funny, the weathermen around here, when they say that, I was like, yeah, right. Most of the time it doesn't. But I looked out this morning when I got up. There was snow on the ground. It's been cold all day. And so most of it has melted off, though. That's the one thing about living where I do in the Southwest, is if you get snow, most of the time it'll be melted off by the end of the day and you'll have sunshine. I mean, literally, although it is cloudy right now. So anyway, I'm drinking my coffee today. Yes, more coffee, guys. It's a caramel, more like I think like a caramel type macchiato type coffee.
It's just a chaotic mess that I threw together.
Yeah. But obviously it was needed today because it's been one of those days. I don't know why, guys. I'm just feeling sort of like, I don't know, sort of tired and sleepy. And I don't know why. I mean, I slept good last night and I guess it's just the weather. But anyway, I had figured today, as you heard, Let It Go, we're going to be more or less talking about decluttering your life and learning to let go. And one of the things that I have really had to learn and still working on, right? Because we never get to a place in our lives when we grow and grow and grow and grow, and then all of a sudden we're up here and there's no more growth. It doesn't work that way. You know, we think we get to a point where we've arrived, right? We have arrived. We're here. We have all these things. This is it. This is happening. That's happening. But the fact of the matter is we're always growing and learning. And if we didn't have, if we didn't have growth in our life and we didn't have, what would be the point of even working on our mindset? What would be the point of even working on anything if you're going to arrive at this perfect enlightenment and this perfect place in life where everything's fine and you don't have to grow anymore? Talk about boring. So, we need those things in our life. And I hate to say, I don't want to sound negative, but by having the challenges come up in our life and by having different things that come up and that causes us to grow, that causes us to stretch and, get out of our comfort zone, those are the things that we start to really, open up our mind, open up our heart to. And one of the things that if you're having a lot of mind clutter, you're having a lot of just anxiety, different things going on in your life that's blocking you up. And this can mean anything. It can mean physically, it can mean mentally, emotionally, it can even mean your surroundings. If you have clutter overall in your life, okay, it's going to block you up. And you're not going to be able to move forward. You're not going to be able to do anything. And this is some experiences that I have had myself, okay, where I get, and it varies. Each day is different. Like, I'll be honest, this morning I woke up, despite we having snow and it was really pretty, I woke up kind of like, I don't know, just sort of like, oh my gosh, it was just kind of a mood, a mindset that I was in that I really didn't feel like I could work to my potential today. That's what I felt like. Yeah, I was like, it's like a funk I was in. And I thought, no, and I even sat there and went, I don't even know if I was going to do this video. I had sat there and go, I don't even know if I want to do the video. But the thing is, I'm showing up anyway. Okay, guys, despite that I'm feeling like this today, because I'm having one of my days that I'm just kind of low, low vibes type thing. And we can't all have high vibes all the time. I mean, I would love to. I would love to have high vibes all the time. But then again, we wouldn't grow. right? So I told myself no. Instead of having all this clutter in my head going, oh, Donna, am I going to do this? Am I not? I have this. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about this. And it just seems like today my mind is just sort of, all like cluttered up. Then I thought, no, I am going to show up anyway. And that's the key to pushing forward in your business, in your life, is despite that you don't feel like doing something, or maybe you're just not feeling it, get out there and do it anyway. Do it anyway. And that is, people will appreciate that you've made the effort anyway. And if you show up every single day in your business, regardless, if you want to, regardless if you don't feel like it, that is pushing past that. And then like the next day, I've had days where I felt like this, and then the next morning I wake up and it's like, woohoo, I'm high vibe all day long. It's like I've got all this high vibes, I got all this energy, and I'm just like laser focused, and I just, right there in the zone. And that's because sometimes if we don't let the clutter go, like in our heads, what we're feeling at the time, what's going on, if we don't let the clutter go, we can literally get ourselves into a state that will literally just keep us there. It will keep us stuck, right? So we we don't want to do that. And I have some, speaking of weird, we have some phones ringing and cars starting, and it's just crazy today. So anyway, guys,
and me braining myself.
Yeah, it's one of those days, right? It's one of those days. But it's okay. It's okay to have those days. It's okay to have that where you're just a little off. We're human, right? That's part of the human experience. I mean, time and time again, and I see these people come on, and I've said this before about Facebook and just social media. Overall, people come into the sense of everything's got to be perfect. My life's got to be perfect. I got to be perfect. Everything has to be high vibes all the time. I have to be laser focused all the time. I've got to have, my crap straight. I got to have my ducks in a row. The thing is, guys, if we did that all the time, it would literally drive us crazy. So we all get dips and highs and lows in our, in our life, in our business. And we got to remember, when we're at a low, okay, and we have a lot of mind clutter, and we have a lot of things going on in our lives where it's just like, feels like this boggled up mess of knots, kind of know how that feels, right? And we got to realize when those things happen, we just need to kind of, just kind of recognize it, realize it's there. Don't say, oh, it's not there. You want to recognize what you're feeling, recognize it's there, acknowledge it. Okay, and say, okay, I'm having a day, or I'm having a week, or an hour you're like off, realize that, and then just know, okay, it's gonna pass, right? It's gonna pass, and just let it go, and do something that's gonna declutter your mind. Okay, and what I like to do is I do a lot of yoga and some meditation practices whenever I feel like that. Like last night, because usually I try to do yoga at least 4 or 5 nights a week at least.
At least.
Yeah, I give myself a couple nights where I don't. But last night I did that. I felt it coming on. I felt it coming on, and it's like, okay, no. So I just kind of cleared my mind. I kind of did my yoga, meditation, breathing, and that did kind of help. So like, a lot of people, there's a lot of different clutter that can go on, okay? It's not just in your head. That is a big part of why I think, people, especially entrepreneurs, people in business, when you get to a place and you kind of feel stuck, it could very well, kind of acknowledge that it could very well be that you're having some mind clutter going on, okay? And you got to kind of figure out what's going on and figure out how to clear that out, right? Figure out how to clear it out. And another good one that I always had a challenge with is such thing as physical clutter, okay? So like, I've seen this happen with people too. In fact, here's a good example. I had a teacher once. I'll give you guys a little story here. I was in, I don't know, 5th grade? Something like that. And this teacher I had, his desk was like major clutter. I mean, you couldn't find anything there. And I kept turning in my homework. I would turn in my homework. I was a good little girl, and I did my homework, and I would turn it in, and then he kept saying he couldn't find it. And I go, well, I turned it into you. So at the end of the semester, I ended up getting my grades, and he gave me like a D and an F. And I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa. I brought that home to my parents, and they, being that the way I was, they knew that making a D and F for me was not normal. So I was like, okay. They were even saying, what's going on here? And it's like, I don't know. I've been turning in my homework, this, that, and the other. And we had a conference with the guy. My parents, we had like a parent-teacher conference. Come to find out, he says, well, you're not turning in your homework. You're not doing the work. You're not, doing the stuff you're supposed to do. And I kept telling him, yes, I'm not lying. I've done it. And my parents were all, yes, she has done it. We've seen her bring it home. We've seen her do the paperwork. She's done her homework. And anyway, long story short, one day, my mom literally told him that his desk was a mess. And he couldn't find anything. And she was like all upset. Well, anyway, the next day, he come back and he says, he ended up giving me like, I think a B or something. Every single homework assignment that I had ever done with him, in all that clutter, he finally cleared off some of his desk, and guess what he found? My homework. All of it. All of it.
Well, not just yours, but everybody else's
and other
too.
kids too. Yeah, it wasn't just me, it was other kids. He was doing that too. He was giving D's and F's to all these kids who were like making good grades to begin with. And then come to find out, here's all their homework all on his desk, because his desk was piled. I mean, there were papers. I'm not kidding. My computer here, it would like line up. There was a stack of papers all on his desk. Well, anyway, he changed the grades for all the kids that did turn into homework. And why did I share that with you? Well, that's a prime example of what actual physical clutter can do. It can just mess you up, really get you blocked. It can mess with other people, and it's already been proven that clutter overall causes a lot of excess stress and anxiety. And I don't know, that those are some of the experiences I've had, and like for me, whenever I've gone to someone's house that's like that, you can ask Toby, I will literally trip,
for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, for no reason.
The stuff may not even be piled around her. She walks in the door, sees clutter, and just falls over.
I trip. I don't know what it is. I'll trip over stuff on the floor, and what it is I feel this anxiety coming on. I get like all stressed, and I'm like, my heart rate goes up, and I'm just like, because it brings a very negative vibe to your entire energy, right? It just brings down, at least for me, it brings down my energy. And then I just turn into a mess, and then my mind gets blocked up, and I can't think. And I might be the extreme of that, because I'm very susceptible.
Particular.
Yeah, and susceptible to that kind of thing. Okay. And it's not so much, I don't think, being particular as it's a health issue. They've already proven scientifically that people that have a lot of clutter, whether it's physical clutter, whether it's mental clutter, whatever clutter is clutter, okay? That those people have a lot of emotional issues, a lot of things going on, and they're not able to really, they get blocked up and they're not able to really move past that. Okay, they've already proven that. And, I know that's like for me, what have you seen, like what would be good advice maybe for decluttering someone who is in that point and they're just like, okay, I've got to start changing something,
Okay, I would say for physical decluttering, pick a spot. Pick a spot in the house. Don't try to do the whole friggin' mess at once.
Yeah, it'd drive you crazy.
Don't try to do an entire room at once.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Pick a spot. Like,
a desk.
pick your desk.
Yeah, a desk is a good way to start.
Or pick a cabinet in the kitchen. Pick a closet. Okay? Go through that area. Go through that spot. Clean it and organize it. Nice rule of thumb to have is if you haven't touched it in 5 years, obviously you don't need it. If you haven't touched it in 7 years, truly, you should have gotten rid of it a long time ago.
Learned to just let it go.
Let
it go.
Just let it go.
Like that song, Let It Go, Let It Go.
Yeah, I don't see us singing for the next Frozen video anytime soon. Anyway, just go through that, get it clean, get it organized. Once that spot is clean, whenever you look in there or you get in there for something, remember where everything is. And then start putting it back in that place. Okay?
That can be tricky sometimes, though, especially if you're in a hurry and you're like, okay, you're like looking for something. Okay, and I'll get it later. No, later doesn't come. Later never happens.
Later doesn't count, and it only takes a second more to put it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Get over it. Put it back where you got it. Put it back right away. And I don't want you to go through anything else, nothing else in the way of physical clutter around the house. Just do that spot for a month. For a month. At that point, you've developed a new habit.
Yeah.
You have a new, complete mindset for that one location. You have a completely new habit for that one location. And then, all of a sudden, after a certain amount of time, you're going to catch yourself organizing other places.
Without really...
Without realizing
it. Second thought, yeah.
You won't think about it, but you'll do it.
Yeah. Like autopilot.
Just all of a sudden, you'll be getting into something and all of a sudden the entire cabinet's empty. When you were just in there for a cup. Or you were just in there for one little something. All of a sudden, it's gutted and you're reorganizing it. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Now you have a new place without physical clutter in your life.
But yeah,
that's a healthy way to build that. As for mental,
that can be a little tricky, but it can.
I would say start writing it down.
Journaling.
Yeah,
journaling. And I've done guys, I know I've done, like, on my Big Tip Fridays, when I was doing Big Tip Fridays, I did a whole thing on journaling. But I think that is a really good, maybe next week, because I kind of pre-planned what I'm going to talk about, but I think that's good. Journaling is a really good way, and I think we should do a segment on our conversations here, for just journaling and getting out some of that crap. That's a good way to go. So we might be doing a segment on that, guys. That just got me thinking about it.
Yeah, and just write everything down.
Yeah.
Sometimes to clean the dirtiest laundry, you just have to get it out in the sunlight. You just expose it. That way you could sit there and say, wow, this has enough holes that it's not even, it's too holy for even the Pope to use. It's too much. And I was wanting to clean this thing. It goes. You'll find some of the things that is creating the mental blocks and things like that. Once you get it down on paper, you find out how stupid it truly is.
Yeah. And see, I would want to suggest like getting a separate journal for that. So if you already have like a journal, and sometimes you have like good stuff in like a gratitude journal, get a whole separate journal for that. You don't want.
Yeah, if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend journal, you don't want to put it in there. Put it in a new journal.
Yeah, get a new journal just for that. What we're talking about here, kind of getting that clutter out of your mind. And they also call it a brain dump. I think it's kind of funny. Do a brain dump, okay? Where you just take, even if you have to take a sheet of paper, if you don't have a journal and you have a notebook or something like that, just do that and just start writing, just everything that has been really just cluttering your mind. And don't be afraid, guys, to put it on paper. You and only you are going to read this. You're not going to sit there and show it to your kids. You're not going to show it to your husband or your wife or your mom or your sister. This is just for you. You're not going to share this. This is just for you. So there's no judgment. Okay, there's going to be no judgment. Write whatever you want. If you want to go all out, have at it. If you want to put every other thing as a cuss word, that's fine. But it's just for you to read.
And another thing that we'll do is when we do the next discussion, or when you have that discussion plan.
I think I might do that next week.
Let's show them how to use it as a workbook too.
Okay, we might do that. We might do it in the next couple of weeks. We can get some of that together. But I think that's a good thing. That's a good point to continue. I think on that subject for decluttering the mind, because decluttering physically is actually a little easier, I think, in some aspects than decluttering your head. Because when you're dealing with the mind and stuff like that, it can be a little bit more emotional, a little bit more tricky, and it can bring about like certain feelings, I think. So that's a good thing to put. You
have a lot more emotional attachment to what's between your ears than you do with what's in a closet.
Although there are some things I can't seem to get rid of in my closet, but we won't discuss that. That's another,
That's a different story.
What's funny is I actually, if you guys have ever watched Friends, okay, and you've heard me say this before, yes, I'm a big Friends fan. I love Friends, okay, and one of the things, Monica on there, and she loves to organize everything, and I kind of, like with my side of the closet, it's so funny, I'll organize it by color, so like all my blacks, all my reds, all my pinks, all my blues, I have like everything, but that's how I like it. So I go into my side of the closet and I can go, ooh, I think I want to wear blue. And then I just look at the blue section and pick something. So he doesn't do that. But I like doing that. That's part of I kind of like that. It makes me feel like I'm more organized when I have my clothes in color segment and, all in one color. But anyway. So yeah, I mean, clutter can come in all many forms. It can, not just physical clutter, not just in your mind, but even
financial clutter.
Financial clutter, and that's a good one. And I think
that's a nightmare.
I think I showed you guys that one time. If you've ever been on my Big Tip Fridays, and you can catch it on YouTube. I forget when I did it, but
there's a playlist there.
Yeah, there's a playlist. You guys can check it out. But I actually did a thing on there that I don't know if you remember. Mark Hoverson. He was my best. I love this guy. He was awesome. He was a really good mentor, and unfortunately he passed last year. But he had showed me and showed all other people about financial clutter, because we have that too, right? Everybody. And I don't care, it doesn't matter if you're rich, it doesn't matter if you're poor, it doesn't matter if you're in between, it doesn't matter. Everybody, if you really sit down and look at your finances and you look at your wallet and things, we all have some form.
Do you really need that subscription to the Mint of the Month Club?
Yeah.
I mean, ask yourself, do you need a Mint of the Month?
And that's a good area to sit down and sit down with your significant other. If you're by yourself, sit down with yourself, your partner, whoever you're with, and just really look at what financially, and it can be scary sometimes, and finances, is like last week we had talked about money, that coincides with mind blockage, because money can be a very emotionally
constipating
a hot point. Yeah, it can be a hot point. So you really need to take time and just look at maybe your finances. Like, what if you're like a member of the Jelly Preserve Club? Yeah. Do you need that? I mean, look at what you need and kind of go through. Another good way to...
Is it something that you use?
Yeah, is it something that you're actually using as like a subscription? Are you actually using it? And another good thing, I'll just highlight on this. My husband and I actually did this. We took our wallet. And I'll just explain it anyway for those of you who don't know. Yeah, I took my wallet and he took his, and over in time you get gift cards from people. You get debit cards, those little preload cards. You get
collect business cards like they're going out of style.
You collect business cards. You have little notes that you write down really quick and stuff in your wallet. And after a while, your wallet doesn't close. Your wallet is like bulging and busting out the seams because there's no other place. So when you go to the store and you go and check out and you're sitting there, and they'll give you, you're sitting there looking for your card and you're sitting there looking. And there's a whole line of people behind you and you're sitting there pulling out this and, oh, sorry, you're dropping everything. It's embarrassing, right? People behind you are getting aggravated because you're sitting there trying to look for your card so you can swipe it and get out of the store. And you're looking for it. You can't find it. So then you got to take all this stuff out and all this stuff and put it on the, on the top of the little, spread it out. And then everyone's sitting there looking at you like, what the crap is wrong with this person? I've been guilty of this before, so it's embarrassing. And it's like, okay, I've got to get my crap together. Get my shit together, so to speak. And it's like, okay, Donna. And so what I did is when he mentioned this, he's open up your wallet. When you're home, take out every single thing, every paper, every card, everything that you ever have in your wallet, lay it out on the table, including that little bit of coins, change. We all have that little pennies and nickels and dimes that we keep stashed away somewhere in our wallet.
That key you put in there to never lose, that you cannot remember what the crap it goes to, but dadgummit, you still have that key.
Yeah, and you don't know, you don't even know what it's for. You've had it for like years, right? We've been guilty of that too. So yeah, lay it all out. Just start sorting through it, and you will be surprised, guys, how much this mental exercise will literally like make you at the end. You'll be like feeling more open to receiving, open to receiving receiving things, new stuff in your life. There you go.
But after you take everything out of your wallet, spread it out on the table, look through it. Pick up each individual little piece and ask yourself, does this have to be in here? If it's a note from a business colleague, should that not be in your business planner instead of your stinking wallet?
Or the grocery list that you
were supposed to get 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I mean... Or worse than that, the grocery list from 2 months ago that you thought you'd already thrown away.
Or last year's Christmas gift list.
Yeah.
I've had that too.
But go look at it. Where does it go? Does it belong in your wallet? Is it needed? Because if it's been in your wallet for the last 5 years, again... You haven't used it?
Yeah.
Do you have to carry it with you?
Gift cards are another one of those things.
Yeah, gift cards.
I mean, people, meanwhile, they give you gift cards for Christmas, excuse me, or whatever, whatever thing, and you've never used it. Or you used part of the gift card, and then you have like $1.50 left on it. Or you want... I gotta tell this. This is kind of funny. I was at a checkout one day at the grocery store, and seriously, no kidding, this lady pulled out, and I'm sitting, I'm waiting behind her, and she pulls out like 5 or 6 or 7, I don't know how many, gift cards. And she's like, okay, can you run this, and run. And the cashier was like, running this one. Okay, you got $2 on this one. Running this one, you got $10 on this one. I mean... It took like...
One right after the other.
Yes. She did like one right after another. She'd swipe it and then do the next one. Swipe it and do that. I mean, I was getting so frustrated, and it took, I don't know why I didn't go in another aisle. I guess, well, I already had my stuff on the conveyor belt for one, and I didn't want to load it all back up. But anyway, it took her like 20 minutes or so to finally get through. And then she had a still a remainder balance. Then she started getting out her debit cards and credit cards and running this one, and it declined. And then she ran another one, and that one. Finally, after 20 minutes, after running altogether about 8 or 9 cards, she finally got her bill paid at the grocery store. And I'm sitting here going, "Oh my gosh, you've got to be joking me, right?" Those are the instances where if you're not going to use that stuff, and don't be one of those people that holds someone up for the next 30 minutes trying to figure out what's on your cards. Okay, if you're not going to use them, like you said, if you're not going to use them in a certain amount of time, just get rid of it. Just get it out of the way.
Well,
right?
like with the debit cards, you know how quick it would have helped if she had just taken the time to call that fun little phone number on the back of the debit card, and then take a marker or something and write on that debit card what was left on it. You know how quick it would have been?
Yeah.
She would have walked up, told the cashier, "Okay, I got $2.50 on this one." Punch it in, swipe, done. "Okay, I got $10.02 on this one." Punch it in, swipe, done. Instead of swipe, "Okay, the computer says you have this." They start punching, swipe it again.
Yeah.
Swipe,
I mean, it's crazy. So, like, any stuff like that, go through it. Like, any debit cards or credit cards, like, if you have stuff that, like, if you have a card that you do not use anymore, like, sometimes, we get credit cards, and there's times we don't use them, or they've expired on the card. You'll have the expiration date. And I've done that, too, where it expired.
And then when you get the new card, you activate it and stick it in right beside the expired one.
Or cut it up. I did that. I had a credit card.
Brand new card.
And I had a new one, and instead of taking out the old one and cutting it up like you're supposed to, what did I do? I took out the new one, and I didn't realize I cut it up right. And then I went to the store and go to use my new card, and then the lady kept saying, "Ma'am, your card's expired." I'm like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "Oh, your card?" I said, "No, this is a brand new card." I looked at it, and it was the old card. And then I remembered I cut up the new one. Do you know how embarrassing bad that is? That is all part of having financial clutter. And these things have happened to us. And I'm sure I'm sure if you look in your life, you probably had similar situations before where certain things like that's happened. And
something so stupid, but yet you did it anyway.
Yeah. And part of the reason of going through your wallet is starting to get rid of stuff, putting them in, maybe like you were saying, if you have a lot of business cards and everything, put them in another planner, another file or something, and just leave in your wallet the absolute cards you use, like your credit card that you use all the time, your debit card to your checking or account or whatever. Keep those cards in there that you use all the time, and get rid of the rest. Of course, keep your driver's license, don't get rid of that.
Here's a little hint to people that, they have business cards to people that they call all the time. Here's a little trick. Get out your phone and take a picture of the business card. Now you're not carrying extra cards. You have the pictures on your phone.
Yeah.
So you just look through your pictures, there's the card, then you can call it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a really good tip. So that's
better yet, actually enter the contact information.
Imagine that. But all these things, you'd be surprised once you go through your wallet. That activity alone, guys, and then what was surprising, after my wallet actually closed and I was able to snap it shut, because I had a little snap on there and it was just right. After I was able to snap it shut, and it was skinny and it looked nice, and I put it back in my purse, and what happened afterwards is I felt this release, like, it's hard to explain. It's like I felt this letting go, like, right, decluttering and letting go. That's what I felt like. I had this just release. And then once I did that...
You didn't dread getting in your wallet?
No. And, that. And I wasn't at the store. I didn't have to sit there and pull out all this stuff. And it opens you up for more opportunity. It opens you up to receiving new things, right? And it's just overall opens you up, and it starts to declutter your mind because you're not sitting there stressing over your wallet. It's clean, it's organized, it's there, ready for you to receive new things in your life. Okay, so that was a good, that I think really that's a good tip. I would suggest, you guys trying that yourself for the financial clutter. And these kind of things take time. You don't want, if you've come from, I would say, a background of having a lot of clutter in your life overall, start small. Don't, like Toby said a while ago, don't just sit there and think, oh, I'm just going to go do all the things and clean out every single cabinet and every single thing and get this done and that done. And,
well, what happens when you do that?
Overwhelm.
You're going to overwhelm yourself, and then you're going to burn yourself out on it.
Yes, you will.
And then when you burn yourself out on it, you just put up another mental block.
Yep, that's true.
To doing it.
Yep, and I've obviously, we're speaking from experience, guys. I always considered myself a very organized person. I mean, I grew up being that way. I was always very organized. I had to have things in a certain area, certain locations, and I'm still like that. But because, our lives get busy, like everybody, we have busy lives anymore, right? We're running around, we're doing errands, doing chores, making appointments, working our business, taking care of, like if you have kids, taking care of family. I mean, we have all these things that we're doing all the time anymore. And what happens is you kind of slip, and the organization kind of, you'll go, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it later. You push it off. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to worry about it because this is more important. But what happens is when you just procrastinate and procrastinate, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. It's like a snowball effect.
It doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't go anywhere, and it gets worse. Okay? So, I think I don't want to go too deep into that too much, because I think this is a good base for somebody who's just maybe starting out and you want to start decluttering and letting go. I think it's a good base to start with.
At least it's not base jumping.
Yeah.
For those of you afraid of heights, that's a big thing.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No.
If you don't know what base jumping is, look it up.
Yeah, that's another story for another day. But yeah, I think this is a good place to start. And I think, like I said, in the next week or two, we'll do a segment on here on journaling and get a little bit more in depth on that. And again, you guys, I hope you really enjoy this. I know I've been enjoying these conversations with you. And, I haven't mentioned this, but if you feel that this may help somebody, and maybe, you want to pass this information on, just, make sure you like it, comment, share it with people, because we all need help in all these areas of our life, and we can't do it alone, right? People say, oh, I got this, I can do this on my own, I got this. The thing is, we need help, guys. Everybody needs help with something, and I'm just hoping that this will, even if you just take one little nugget from here and apply it to your life, apply it to your business, each time you do something different and something to better yourself, it's going to start to snowball. Instead of snowballing down, it's going to start spiraling back up, and it's going to get better. But you have to take the responsibility to do that, right? So anyway, guys, I hope this has helped. I hope this has been a good thing for you. And stay tuned next week again, where we will be at another subject. Stay tuned for next Friday. And you guys take care. Again, like, comment, share this information with others, guys. Subscribe to the channel. If you actually subscribe to the YouTube channel that I have, you're going to get all this information. You're going to have access to all my Big Tip Fridays. You're going to have access to the coffee break conversations here. And in future, I'm going to be getting some other videos going. about some other stuff, more entrepreneur type stuff, more, maybe just different things to help. So stay tuned, and I will talk to you guys again on Friday. Have a really good day and a really good weekend.
Let it go, man. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go, man.